Hi, and welcome to Bridging International Waters, episode 5. Priyanka, how are you doing? You all right?
Yes, I'm amazing, Marcus. How are you?
I am well. I've got really good coffee today. Smells good, so I might be drinking that throughout the episode. I think I need that
I think I'm
caffeination.
going to get a cup of coffee myself. That's a very good idea.
Oh, bless. Um, I'm just admiring the artwork that we've got, and I'm just really feeling
Oh,
this
yes.
episode. It's all about
Yes.
again, our host Amit and Priyanka. Um, Episode 5. Would you like to introduce?
Yes, absolutely. So today we're going to talk about mediation in business and partnerships, something that people often feel mediation cannot be useful for at all. And this is exactly the opposite. Mediation can be most useful in business and partnerships. In my opinion, it is one of the only tools for conflict resolution, which will not only solve your immediate problem, but also set the tone of for how you will deal with any other issues or conflicts that may arise. Because it's very normal and very natural for all of us to not know everything all at once. You can even with AI, you cannot possibly think of it all,
Yeah.
and there's going to be room for conflict always. There's going to be room for someone reading something another way, and it creates a strain. So business and partnerships, extremely critical areas where people must consider mediation. So yeah,
Yeah.
excited to talk more about this.
And like as we explored in the last episode, conflict's good, conflict's healthy, conflict moves business forward. Um,
Yes.
and if there's no conflict, I'd be quite worried if there wasn't any little bit of a dispute or a discussion, call it. It's not conflict as the term, but conflicting interests in different
Correct.
group settings. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So Bridging International Waters, we're here today to again explore how mediation works in business conflicts. Whether it's in teams, whether it's between managers and managers, whether it's between director level, misunderstanding in board meetings, um, not hearing what was said in a meeting, then asking a colleague, and then going into the fact that they didn't understand what it meant, and it's just really good. It's good to know that there's conflict, hopefully earlier rather than later, within partners, or
Absolutely.
if someone's upset, because it's clearing that makes the business move forward dynamically,
Yeah.
openly. We're going to discuss different conflicts between the partners, and would that be supply teams underneath that, suppliers and teams. We'll give a little demonstration. We like a demonstration, and our commercial mediation cultures in the UK and India, and again the
Yes.
different relations there. Because let's
Yes.
be honest, the biggest damages businesses have is when they don't interact in the conflict early enough at the earlier stages. It's if it's an employment tribunal stage, it's in the courts. It's never too late to try mediation. I will be honest, but
That's
earlier,
true.
the reputational damage is kind of where you want to target. If you are feeling like something might just need discussion, and you've tried to discuss it formally, and then or informally, then it goes to formal, then grievance stages, and then the unions are involved, and it's like we need to address this. And a third party neutral is 9 times out of 10 the best to come in, to step in and address that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Priyanka, take it away.
Yes. Well, what can I say? Why conflicts happen? I mean, in businesses, like I said, there is not a single contract that can be so well written that it's going to avoid any area of conflict, right? There are just so many situations and circumstances that could be unforeseen, or something that you have just not been able to apprehend, and conflict has occurred. So, and very often I think we get stuck up in the why. We get stuck up in why it's happened. I think, and if we get stuck up in the why, we often lose the opportunity to deal with what has actually happened. So I think it becomes, from a resolution point of view, it becomes very important for us to focus on, all right, this is the situation, it has occurred. Of course, in the process of the resolution and maybe at the end of the resolution, we will try to also understand and identify why it happened so that we can prevent it from happening again. But million reasons, right? Some are listed on the screen there for our viewers to see. So it could be interpretation many times, 9 times out of 10. When it's a contract, it's about interpreting it differently. I'm reading it in one way, the other side's reading it in another way, and we both disagree on what the other person's saying. Communication breakdowns. Oh my goodness, there are so many situations where you just don't want to talk to the other side because you feel like you've explained and you've explained and you've explained, and they just don't seem to get it, and they're just so rigid, or they just stay stuck to one position and not sort of budge. And that can really create mistrust, because in a relationship, and especially in a working relationship, if it's something that you're getting pushed back on a lot, then you sort of want to think twice about partnering with such an organization or that kind of mindset again. And of course, you're dealing with in business, you're dealing with so many pressures and deadlines. There are so many compliance requirements that also get automatically impacted, right? So without a resolution, if you sort of just leave it to that, if you leave it just to the contractual terms, or just leave it to your legal teams, it's really going to do long-term harm to that business relationship, which would otherwise really thrive if you were able to resolve that conflict, try to understand what went wrong, work on it together so that both of y'all can do better next time or going forward. Save that relationship. That's critical.
Yeah, well explained. And I mean, I know we can all give about 1,000 different examples of how it breaks down. And a case I'm dealing with at the moment is literally contractual terms, blurred lines there and there, and it's like, so the previously used, so organizational restructure is another one, really, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
Organizational restructure, people working with other people who don't know or quite understand, and from the get-go of that organizational restructure, or the new buying partner that's bought the company and reorganized the teams to what they see fit, which is okay. It's
Yes.
when you put the different personalities together that's never worked together, and things are misunderstood from the get-go, and it's
Yeah.
like, right, so I mean, we can highlight the lighteners and how but these are people's lives, aren't they? Like, we can obviously be
Absolutely.
more light-hearted as we can, but when we go in as a mediator, lawyer, negotiator, peacemaker, we've got plenty of terms. We are
Yeah.
dealing
No,
literally with
mine is, by the way, mine is chaos coordinator. That's my I was
people.
at a workshop when we were asked to put name boards for ourselves. And just as an introduction to what we do, because this was a round table, and I literally wrote chaos coordinator, and everyone was like, oh my god, what do you do? Because we really need you. So it's everywhere.
That's it. I brand myself as the empathetic mediator because I'm. It's like, it's similar. Well, it's not similar at all. It's like, it's uniquely done, and it's like, just just focusing. Literally, yeah. Like, we need the calm in the chaos. We need the chaos coordinators. We need the people with negotiation skills to come through and try and calm this down a little bit.
Most certainly.
Yeah. Priyanka, over to you. Is this yours, line? Do you know what?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
done.
this is yours. Yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, why it works best in mediation. So why it works in business? Wow, so many reasons, but I think topmost is because mediation is confidential. And I cannot stress enough how important it is for businesses to sort of keep things under the wraps, especially when it comes to conflict. Because there's just so many angles and paradigms that are attached to conflict for a business. It's not just the people who are involved, it's also the name and the reputational risk and harm and damage that an inflated conflict or a conflict which is exposed can sort of do to the goodwill that you've built over the years.
Yeah.
And that's what companies are all about, right? Businesses are all about building goodwill over time with so much hard work and effort. And then one small thing can just sort of put everyone in a tizzy, and it can become this whole crisis management situation. And it's often faster. It can be so much more quicker than litigation because you're not bothered with statutory compliances, norms, processes, or protocols that you have to follow. It can be really flexible. You can bring your stakeholders together really quickly. You can do it online. There are so many online dispute resolution platforms also, which businesses can take to. So you can really participate from wherever you are. We can do it right now on a Teams or a Zoom, or we can do it on any of those other platforms available. And we can retain control on the final outcome. This is so important for businesses, right? Because very often judges and arbitrators may not be able to understand what's really more important for the business, more than the business themselves, right? And each business will have their own shifting priorities from time to time, depending on the complexity of the conflict or the situation that they're in because of which the conflict has arisen, or the impact that the conflict is having on them then. Right? So there's so many dynamics involved. So nobody can be better than the parties themselves to identify what's the best resolution for me here. And of course, it helps to protect professional relationships. I cannot talk enough all the time, even at the cost of repetition, about how important it is to save good working relationships. The story never has to be that we used to be good for a while together and we're just not anymore. That's not the only way that it should end because you face the conflict. There's a way to protect that relationship. There's a way to make it better even. And of course, the workarounds and agreements that we come to at the close of this assisted negotiation process called mediation can be practical and future focused, right? We can also sort of ensure that we take ownership or responsibility of something that we should have done or could have done, and ensure that we do it next time going forward, so that we're not in the same situation again. And that's really a sign of growth, guys. So yeah, that's why I think mediation works best in businesses as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it doesn't always have to end up in the courtroom. We can settle it in-house.
Absolutely.
On Teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the cry for it is more needed now than ever, especially with current times and climate. Yeah. Have I missed a slide? I thought I missed a slide. Did I cover this one? I can't actually remember if I have.
No, not this one. No.
I do apologize. So
no, that's all right.
Honestly, but to reintroduce the how partnerships agreements and the disputes, just covering that side as well. Has everyone made a decision of how they want that to go forward as well? Have they put like a partnership agreement in place? Is everyone comfortable with that going forward? Or is it just we're doing this, we don't really want to take any of input going in and just take it forward? And it's like, well, I wasn't really comfortable with that, but I could then get my chance to actually express how I felt on that decision being made. Vendor and supplier conflicts are always very interesting disputes, whether what's been owed or what's owed. In, like, for example, if obviously you take out a contract with a supplier and things are owed, our demands aren't met, money is usually withheld from both sides of what's being owed for that product, service, arrival of products. This is one, and a product arriving from a supplier, not in great quality, and it's not what they stand for as a business. It came damaged. Whose fault is it? Who's to blame? Did it go?
So many of these happened during COVID, right? I mean, we've all
Yeah,
seen so many of these happen during COVID because such an unforeseen circumstance. It was a force majeure for almost everywhere in the world.
yeah. And everyone online as well. And they're trying to have negotiations of where and what's gone wrong. And the laptops are freezing, the Zoom calls. Everyone's discovering the power of technology, right?
Yeah, and we're discovering filters, right? There was this hearing that where this lady didn't know that she was looking like a cat when she was arguing a case. It was
Oh my
this,
goodness, yeah. Yeah.
but
And there was a
I mean,
council meeting in the UK that was like
yeah.
very interesting, I will say politely.
So yeah,
Oh,
uh, just so many disputes, and what's on your screen right now, guys, is some of the very common business disputes that Marcus has walked us through.
yeah. Like internal team conflicts that are affecting productivity. Again, this
And
is, I can,
morale,
we
yeah.
can open micro misunderstandings, we can open micro aggressions, we can open that, we can do another 16 episode series on all that kind of product on that kind of thing. But internal team conflicts are real as ever. Like some people are just refusing to actually go into work because they don't want to meet that person and they don't want
Yes,
to have that difficult conversation. And that's where we come in as mediators thinking, can that be mediated? Can we work on, and we know it can be mediated, but as a business owner or, you know, a CEO of an organization, it's like, it's absolutely critical that, you know, the full team disruption starts from one or two people disagreeing and then the team splitting
yes,
into two, right? And then
yes.
you've got one team into two and then into three because of all of these different points. And the next minute you've got like a 5 or 6 party case and you're thinking, like the restructure of their business might have only been 12 months in, and the next minute everyone's conflicting each other, they're taking sides, and what a lot of the bigger picture stuff is it's time and it's money.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree.
And it's like it's costing wages, it's costing time to settle the dispute, it's costing HR overloaded with notes and paperwork and overloading HR, and next minute HR are trying to deal firefighting. The managers are like, I don't know what's going on, one being told one thing. And if this is like, it could be a 3 month or a 6 months conflict, and imagine that same
Yeah.
disruption in business for 6 months going, I'm not going to say 6 years, I mean, but in some cases, if that person gets moved to
Oh
another
yes,
team in, let's say, 5 6 years
yes,
time, and the conflict was never resolved with that other person back then, guess what opens up? It's like the same
yes,
conflict from 6 years ago opens up on the desk, and it's like, oh, well, I remember this, and yeah, it's like you're back in square one again. And
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen that as well, where
So many times, so many times. I mean, because that's the thing, right? People very often, when you try to prove who is right, you're seldom thinking about what is right.
yeah,
And there it leaves, even if you resolve it on paper, let's say because of the policy, or because of the contract, or because of some kind of compromised understanding, it's
yeah,
going to have unresolved issues that are buried deep down,
hmm,
and that can just make it worse going
yeah,
forward, you know.
yeah. I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah, it's just this, yeah, it's just I'm working on exactly that case at this moment in time. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm just like, I can see it a distant mile off, and I'm like, they both want peace.
correct.
And that's, yeah. Okay, cultural differences in commercial mediation.
Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Marcus, why don't you tell me what happens in the UK when you focus on mediation, or how you conduct it? How is the culture there? Are there some assumptions that you sort of can take, when you're doing mediation with parties who are both from the UK, so similar cultures?
Yeah.
How does it work?
How does it work? So it does. on direct negotiation, open dialogue. So we try and explore what's been going on as regard to where it's like the similar, if not same structure to a degree. So the manager, again, obviously you can't negotiate on positions, as we both know.
Correct.
But there's always open negotiation of what can be changed for, let's say, that one individual. For example, we understand that Tuesdays might be a bit of a difficult for you, but can we work with Tuesday for negotiating that kind of contract of where you come in a little bit later for childcare arrangements on a Tuesday, and then there's if it's got balanced. Balance is key, but it's usually is really direct and really spoken about directly through the office, so everyone can hear that sometimes, and it's like, wow. Instead of being, there's a recent one where how do I say this without being brought into, they'll say it across the office floor rather than having, hiya, you're right, can you come into a room, let's have a conversation. It's thrown on the office floor sometimes, and it's like from a manager, and it's like, well, then you ask, well, what was going on for you when you passed that comment across the office floor? And it was like, oh, it's what we always do. And it's like, oh, okay. And very different communication style. Not
Yeah.
always, but
No, always. No, of course not. Not always. Well, in India, definitely. I mean, it all changes with who you're speaking with, because there is a certain preset expectation when it comes to certain titles that people are holding, or the background they come from, or the role that they're sort of playing. So when we're discussing mediations in India with businesses, it's very important as a mediator, and even as someone who's participating in mediation, to know who you're speaking with, what their background is, what their role or designation is. In India, culturally, even in our traditions, irrespective of our various communities, we have a very different traditional way of sort of showing respect, even in the way we speak, the words we use, and the way we'll just sort of conduct ourselves around, certain seniority of people. And that still sort of happens in most organizations. You will see that people are not even on a first name basis. There are also organizations which will have their own internal cultures where it is not okay to address someone on a first name basis in India, even today, in many parts of India. So these and these are very minor things, right? I mean, we're in 2026, and we're still somewhere using sir and madam as ways to address people who are senior to you. Now that we're seeing a lot of people changing careers later in life, just because they don't have experience, you'll very often see in organizations people who are uh, 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 you know uh, greater in age taking up roles that are of lower experience or cadre. So very often you'll find people sometimes in conflict who are holding a lower title but have more experience outside of that role, and have to report to or talk to a manager who is maybe half their age, and that creates a problem in itself. That's a problem in itself, because there's so much assumption that comes with experience, whether or not it's in the role that I'm doing today. And there's also a mindset in India which is still, unfortunately, can try and make judgment about you based on your role and profile, so can undermine you. And that also happens very, very naturally. And I'm sure this is not just specific to India. I'm sure it happens across the
this is the
world,
same
otherwise,
in
in
the UK
so
as
many
well, similar
cultures, right?
points.
In the UK as well. So, I mean, I think what happens is in some parts of our country, maybe we're more open and vocal to say it. Like, I'm from Bombay, we're the commercial capital of the country. So where really, and I have personally worked in various different cultures. I've started with a US based organization. I've worked in an MNC. I've worked in an Indian conglomerate. I've worked as an independent advisor to many HNIs and corporates. So I have had the experience and exposure to different types of work settings and cultures to sort of understand and be able to adapt. But that is not true for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that can also make a huge difference in how we speak with each other, how we address each other.
Yeah.
So takes little, yeah.
And I think if you bring that back to mediation, it's like you ask how you would like to be addressed. How would you like, and you just get to it gently like that.
It's
It's
just,
like, what's the, I mean, I'm Marcus. What's the best way to approach? Is it a name? Is it a nickname? Is it a sir? Is it, how would you like to be addressed? It's having the
correct.
openness and the open dialogue.
Absolutely. Yeah. In
Like
in
how?
the opening statement, it's one of the most beautiful things about mediation. When we talk about the opening statement, we not only will we introduce ourselves and tell them what we would like to be called. I would love to be called Priyanka. I don't want a madam. I don't want an advocate. I don't want, Miss Pandit. I'd like to be called Priyanka. It
Yeah,
it for me, and similarly, I would really like to know how the parties would like to be addressed, and it's I think it's a great sort of way to build, that comfort
yeah, that
in
is it.
participating and having a comfortable conversation with someone.
Yeah, and like it says, understanding differences would really, really improve
Oh
the
yes.
dialogue, the resolution, the outcomes. It's just having that understanding, that mutual understanding as well. It's like if you're unaware, then ask openly, gently, and just
I think this
yeah,
this is I think what I mean. One thing that we should also really highlight when we talk about dealing with cultural differences and understanding, especially cross border, is the power of co-mediation.
yeah,
Because if you have, so let's say there's a business in India and there's a business in UK who are in the middle of a conflict, and they want to take to mediation. Nothing stops us from co-mediating, because
absolutely.
an Indian mediator and a UK mediator together will be able to deal with the differences in the room, will be able experiences and skill sets, and
Say
will
that
make
again,
it that
just one
much
last
more.
minute. Sorry to interject, Priyanka.
Sorry.
It cut out.
No,
You
that's
went,
fine.
see the difference. Go from see the difference. It for whatever reason it stopped.
Yeah.
Please, because these are critical points I want people to know.
Yeah. So when, let's say, when you bring these two different mediators in the same room, you'll be able to see the difference in how they will be able to use their different skill sets in trying to bring those differences together and understand from a different perspective and really work together to co-mediate. And I think it's extremely important
Yeah,
to be mindful and respectful of the cultural differences in the room when you're mediating.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. And
yeah,
well
yeah.
explained. And thank you for recovering that. Your screen froze, and I was like, let me just make sure everyone's clear
Technical
on that.
glitch.
Yeah. Um, moving into the last coming slides, which is the reflection and the bridge moment. Successful businesses value strong relationships and communication. So just reiterating what Prank said, if there is a business in the UK and India and they are negotiating terms and they would like us to step in to help that, again, feel free to comment, email, contact us. Because like he says, conflict handled well between negotiating parties strengthens the relationships without damaging them. And I really feel
Absolutely.
like that mutual respect not only enhances your relationship with your provider, the supplier, whatever that looks like in the business outlook, having it right and clear from the offset is critical for a successful partnership. And I'm pretty sure Priyanka can explore more of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, I'm going to get you to reflect on this one, Marcus. How might protecting relationships benefit long-term success? How do you
Okay,
think that might
so
happen?
example one would be you start a new contract with a company. Let's say we'll use India and the UK because that's where we are.
Mm,
Um, and you've agreed a huge contract, and things after the first, let's say, example one, we'll do the good one. You bring in the mediators, for example, we get the phone call, we get the call, we sit in the meeting, make sure both people are absolutely clear on both sides of the pond what exactly needs to be done to go forward with strength. And then 6 months down the line, everything's going really well. And the next minute you're like, we might bring the mediators again because we're going to take in another big contract. And then everything was clear, everything's absolutely fine because they were such a good job first time round. And so example 2, let's say the bad side, unfortunately, you agree a contract, you wasn't quite sure what that term means or that one means because it's quite a lengthy like page, kind of thinking, yeah, do you know what, it'll be all right. And then 6 months down the line, things are coming through and you're just like, they're just not following what we agreed and discussed. And the next minute it's the fine small print that was absolutely missed from the outset. The get-go that could have been explored, sat unpicked from the get-go, and next minute it's like it just didn't work out for him. It was going really well at the start, and then then all of a sudden, it didn't work out. That's the polite way of putting it, I think.
Well explained. Very, very useful example there, Marcus. But yes, this is the bridge moment for this episode. So the best business decisions protect relationships, not just profits.
Fantastic.
And that's amazing. The best business decisions protect relationships, not just profits. Because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. I mean, a business is a fictional legal entity. It's all about the people.
Yeah.
And there's no profits, but there's no people.
Oh, yeah, very well put. Very well put.
So
I love that. We always finish with a nice little laugh though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you again, Priyanka, for.
Thank you, Marcus. It was wonderful as always to speak with you on this, and thank you to everyone for listening to us. We hope to see you for episode 6.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.